Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Hocus Pocus podcast. My name's Ewan, and I'm here today with my good friend, Callum.
Hi, everyone.
So basically, this is our first go at this. We're going to be bringing you all the weird and wonderful stories from the world of news from across all the world, pretty much. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So we're going to go
You'll
first.
go first. Yeah,
I'm
you're
going
first.
mate.
You're
We're going to go first, Callum, with my biggest success story from this week.
Is it worth mentioning the way we're doing it? In fact, that we're doing a success story followed by a failure, followed by a surprising story.
I feel like, Callum, that would probably be a good thing. So as Callum's duly noted there, we're going to be looking at the biggest success, failure and disappointment from each week of the news. You can send in some suggestions if you'd like to. We're on all social media platforms at Hocus Pocus Podcast.
Yeah, we are.
We'll just get straight into it, Callum. So my biggest success today, it comes from the Daily Mirror, and it's a story about a dad who's converted the cupboard under the stairs into a Harry Potter themed wonderland for his young daughter. It says here that there's floating candles and even a room to relax with a book, and I think that's incredibly successful.
Why is that successful?
Why is that successful? I just say it shows great DIY spirit, nice family skills.
Yeah, but the issue is with something like that is this child won't like Harry Potter in 2-3 years' time, and then you've got a cupboard that's Harry Potter themed and no one that likes Harry Potter in your house.
I feel like it could be a rentable facility. One social distancing.
To who? Who's going to rent out Harry Potter space on someone else's shed? Not shed, staircase.
Shed. I don't know. I mean,
what does it look like? Is it good?
I thought it looked pretty cool, to be honest. I mean, it's got a floating bookshelf. That's pretty cool.
How does it float, the bookshelf? I
don't know, mate. I'm no DIY expert, but was pretty impressed and thought it was quite a
How old is his daughter?
Right, great. It said she was around the age of 8. So kind of
Maybe she'll have a couple years of fun out of it, I guess.
Yeah, but also I think it could be one of those things that maybe he's one of those guys that will just every time she gets a new excitement,
a new phase,
he'll make a cupboard. So if it was, say, for example, it was you, your dad might have made you like a Birmingham City themed cupboard when you were aged 8. You could have gone in and pretended you were at the game or something like that.
Yeah, sounds great. That gone in and pretended I was at the game underneath my staircase. What a barrel of laughs that's.
Yeah, so I mean that's probably quite a poor choice for a success, but for me,
no, that's a success.
Scanning through, I'd say
from some people's opinion. From my point of view, I just see it from a productivity point of view. Is now you've got a lack of space to put stuff under the stairs because you've got your daughter trying to make frogs.
That is very true. Very true.
Where are you going to put your shoes?
That is true. Maybe we'll have to invest in a shoe rack or build a shoe rack.
See, it's just you've solved one issue, your daughter's boredom, but as a result, you've created all these other issues.
Would you say I've created a wider issue? If hypothetically speaking, I am in this position, I've built this cupboard. I created more of an issue for myself by building?
What you've done is you've created a knock-on of events that's just going to cause you more hassle in the long run.
I see.
And it was just not worth the time. So my success story is an actual real success story.
Right, okay.
And it's to do with COVID-19.
Right, okay.
Because what a success that's been.
Very topical at the moment, obviously.
Basically, a German pilot out of Frankfurt, I believe, could have been Hamburg.
Someplace in Germany.
Somewhere in Germany, has flown over Germany in the shape of a syringe. As in his flight path is perfect in the shape of a syringe.
I'll put a picture on the screen now for those who are watching.
Yeah. Maybe put a picture of that lady's staircase as well.
Yeah. So
nice.
I'll put a picture on screen now for anyone watching at home.
Basically, he's done this to spread awareness of the vaccination, to celebrate the vaccination, and to try and convince those who are anti-vax to get vaccinated. And it is absolutely perfect. You'll never see a better syringe done by
I like the meaning behind it, but I'm also how is that going to encourage people who are anti-vax to vaccinate? Oh, look,
absolutely no idea.
Some blokes flown a pretty picture in the sky. Therefore,
but I think it just raises awareness. It's a bit like brand awareness on behalf of the vaccination because there's not enough marketing.
Free branding for Moderna and AstraZeneca.
Exactly. So they're thinking it's in the news. Everyone's saying, "Oh, great, some blokes made a thing. Maybe I will get the vaccine."
Yeah. No. Fair enough.
Will you get the vaccine, you?
I will get the vaccine right now. If someone had it for me, I would take it right now.
So would I.
I personally think that it's just one of those things. It's the right thing to do. It helps society. It's not about personal opinion. It's about the greater good, as they say in Hot Fuzz. So yeah, I'd be
a bit of a niche reference.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be.
How much would you pay for it if someone offered you now saying, if you make me the right offer, you can have the vaccination and you can go back to normal life with all other people that have been vaccinated?
Well, I mean, to be honest, at the moment that wouldn't be that great because everyone who's vaccinated like over the age of 70, so I wouldn't be able to do a great deal more.
Fair enough.
I reckon I'd pay £100 tops.
Enough.
If that was the charge. I mean, I'm not looking to pay money for it.
I don't think you can buy it, can you?
No, there was a man in Cheltenham who conned some old woman out of £100. Told her
I saw that.
Yeah, that was awful. Told it was a COVID vaccine.
That's poor.
He has since been arrested and charged, I believe. So
rightly so.
There is some good in the world. Right. Well, if that's it, Cal, I reckon we can move on.
There wasn't a lot of success stories this week. I googled success stories, and it was all people are dying, everyone's ill, someone's been inaugurated, all this kind of jazz. It's just like, where's the success?
Yeah, the world is a bit fucked at the moment, isn't it?
Maybe it could have been a personal success story.
Yeah, perhaps that's a thought.
I've just bought a brand new water bottle.
Oh, very nice.
If that's a success story.
I today finished I'm now up to speed of the episodes of trailers I'm editing at work. If that's a personal success story.
Yeah, that counts, I guess. Yeah, that's successful.
And well, so we can move on then to the disappointment. Was that what we said we were going to do after? Or was it
failure? Yeah, a failure or a disappointment.
A failure or a disappointment. So I think this is a lot better than my success, but obviously disappointing. So
let's bloody hope so.
The headline reads: Australia to kill US racing pigeon which survived 8,000-mile trip across the Pacific.
Right, I saw this.
Yeah,
I didn't click on it.
So
I saw it.
Basically, a pigeon from America has flown all the way to Australia.
Right.
And they believe it's carrying a disease, so they're going to kill it. And I just think that's quite a disappointment. That
is an absolute disgrace.
That pigeon should be lauded as king of the pigeon. I detest pigeons, but I am incredibly impressed by that.
See, I don't mind pigeons. I'm quite fond of pigeons and seagulls and most sort of winged creatures.
You're fond of pigeons and seagulls?
I do have a seagull mug just off screen. Somewhere. But
okay.
Maybe we'll put a picture of that in the edit. Yeah. But I quite like winged beasts.
Right, okay.
Especially ones as arrogant and as self-assured as seagulls and pigeons.
I see.
Because they know what they want.
Uh-huh.
They know how to get it and they do it. You know what I mean? They're ballsy creatures.
To be honest, that could be quite a good metaphor for life. Be more like a pigeon.
Yeah.
Or
not
seagull.
This pigeon, though.
No, this pigeon.
Because this pigeon has done an excellent feat. That is a long distance trip.
That is arguably
one of the longest distances probably possible.
13,000 kilometers, I think it was.
I mean, I ran 5K on Thursday and I was absolutely, ruined.
Absolute banjacks.
He's flown 13K, arrived at his destination, think, right, knees up.
Not 13K, Callum, 13,000.
Oh, 13,000K, yeah, sorry. He's arrived at his destination thinking, great, sun's out, knees up, beer's out. Yeah. And he's been put down because he's got the flu.
I didn't quite say what the disease was, but they basically said he was a bit banjacks when he arrived. He's now showing signs of recovery.
I'm surprised. He's just flown halfway across the world.
But unfortunately, he's got a disease, so they're going to have to.
No, sure. Why can't they just keep him, nurse him back to full health, and then send him back on his way in
a quarantine facility?
They must have quarantine facilities
in Australia. Pigeons. Well, they're quarantining all the humans, isn't they? So maybe just give a hotel room to a pigeon.
Well, if all the humans are inside, it doesn't matter that the pigeon's outside.
That is very true.
Because the disease can't spread unless it spreads to the other pigeons.
Well, that's a whole different story. But I would say that's the biggest disappointment for me this week.
That is extremely disappointing.
That poor pigeon's just put in an absolute graft, an absolute shift. And
for what?
What's he got to show for it? His life.
Been shot in the head.
Yeah. Well, I don't quite know how they're gonna end it.
They'll shoot him in the head, 100%.
Charming.
It's disappointing. That is very disappointing.
What have you got for the disappointment, Cal?
Guys, I have to check actually because I've forgotten.
Very professional.
It's a failure, actually. It's a failure.
It's a failure.
So a bloke by the name of Thomas Dodd, right?
Thomas Dodd.
Thomas Dodd. He's in the UK, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. And he's got smashed, right, by himself during lockdown.
Right, as you
watching Celine Dion on YouTube, her full concerts.
Okay, yeah.
And was so drunk that he changed his name to Celine Dion.
Wow. I think I saw this one actually. Is it
officially
like
changed his name to Celine Dion? Yeah.
Has he is he changing? Is he wanting to change it back?
No,
or keep it?
He wants to keep it.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Usually, he said he would have travelled to America to see Celine Dion live this year, but due to the restrictions, he couldn't. So he's become obsessed with watching her on YouTube and is now basically the biggest fan of the world and has changed his name legally to Celine Dion. And he said he was slightly worried about telling he works in hospitality of some description, it said. And he's slightly worried about telling his boss about his new name.
Is he worried he's going to lose his job?
Well, would not be surprised if he did.
So he's legally changed his name to Celine Dion because he got
legally changed his name to Celine Dion,
and he's not gone. And he's not gone. Oh, well, that was a laugh. I'll keep it for a week and then change it back. He's actually sticking by it.
Yeah, he got the letters a bit later in the week in the post to say, it's
got the deed poll letter through.
Signed it again, probably sober, I presume, and he's gone for it.
Well, that's just outrageous. That is a massive failure.
That is a failure. From his point of view, that's a success because he's successfully changed his name and probably now is well renowned as the biggest super fan of Celine Dion.
True.
But from an outsider's point of view, he's had a shocker.
Question for you, Callum. If you could change your name to anything, what would you change it to?
James McFadden or Jude Bellingham.
You are a big fan of Jude Bellingham.
Because Jude Bellingham is probably the greatest player ever to play football. He's a nice bloke by all accounts.
Yep.
And I've seen him live, so
yeah.
And I just love him. Yeah, Jude Bellingham would be my name. And then I'd go around pretending to be here. I mean, there are obviously slight differences visually between me and Jude Bellingham.
Yeah. I'll put a picture of Jude Bellingham on the screen.
Yeah, but I think, and also on the pitch, obviously we play different positions.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously you're quite a lot better than he is at football, so.
Well, we play different positions. Yeah. It's hard to compare. It's hard to compare a box-to-box midfielder to an out-and-out number 9 striker. So yeah, Jude Bellingham would be mine. What about you?
I don't know, mate. That's quite difficult. I think I'd change mine to something like really outrageous and really difficult to say, just to have the satisfaction of watching people.
Just to be annoying.
Yeah, just to have the satisfaction of watching people trying to
pronounce how to say your name.
Pronounce my name. I mean, to be honest,
your name's quite boring as it is.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of my name, but I do have to tell people I have to spell it all the time, and yet people still spell it wrong. Yeah, well, there's different ways of spelling it, isn't there?
How?
You can spell it EWAN, and you can spell it I.
Oh, like Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Is he in Star Wars? He was in Star Wars, wasn't he?
He was in Star Wars, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I sort of have a slight issue with that anyway, but I don't have to tell anyone how to pronounce it.
All your siblings have really cool names, and then you just got lumped with Ewan.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Probably just change it to something a bit challenging to say, just for a laugh. I don't really have a particular affinity to any sportsman, woman, or rock star,
or any person in the world. Fair enough.
No.
We move on to the surprising story of the week.
We do move on to the surprising story. So
this is my favourite one.
I'm sure listeners will know as we're recording this, it's inauguration day in America. Joe Biden has taken over from Donald Trump. My surprising story was that Joe Exotic of Tiger King fame, apparently, quite good mates with Donald Trump.
Very surprising, is it?
Little something there, maybe. Anyway, apparently Trump was giving out pardons on his last day to all sorts of people. I think Lil Wayne got one, Kodak Black got one.
Brilliant.
So apparently Joe Exotic was so convinced that Donald Trump was going to give him a pardon for whatever charges he's in. I think he's in for plotting to murder Carol Baskin and mistreatment of animals.
Nice.
He was so convinced that Donald Trump was going to give him a pardon that his team had a limo parked just outside the prison where he's being held. The media was ready for Joe Exotic to be released, and Donald Trump did not pardon him, so he's still there.
Good old Trump.
I thought that was
I've just seen Trump. Everyone go mad because Trump said something a bit dodgy on his leaving press conference. He's apparently used a curse word, according to
I see.
The press.
I mean, to be honest, he's not had the greatest 4 years, has he, with that? So it's probably just one to add to the list.
Yeah, no, I don't know how long does it take. I saw the how do you say it?
Inauguration.
Inauguration.
That's just not how you say it, Callum.
Whatever. I've seen it. It's like a 24-hour long TV show.
Oh yeah, to
swap keys. Surely you just give the keys and then you walk into the new house. That's it.
They go big in America, don't they? They love a long broadcast.
Like the election was about 10 days long.
Yeah, I mean that was for other reasons, but they do like to go big in America. But
in the UK, it starts 9 a.m. Thursday morning and it's done midnight.
Yeah. That was my surprising story though. Joe Exotic being so.
What did he actually? I've not seen Tiger King.
I've not seen it either.
Is he guilty?
Well, I would assume if he's been.
With a name like that, you're guilty of something.
Yeah,
Joey Exotic.
There's definitely would have been enough evidence, I would suggest, to put him away. That's why he's in the prison. But yeah, I just found it quite funny that he was so convinced that he was going to get that pardon. He was ready. He thought the bag.
That's quite embarrassing, really.
He thought the bag was secured. His team had got a limo ready for him to come out and be like, "Here I am, boys and girls." He's still just.
I'd have loved to have been the bloke to tell him. It didn't happen.
Yeah,
you're stuck here, and he's just crumbled.
But some of the people that he was pardoning was very niche. Like Lil Wayne got one.
I didn't know Lil Wayne was in prison. I just presumed
he's not in prison, but I think it's just pardon just basically means that their charges get dropped. So I think he had charges for like racketeering or holding a weapon in
playing tennis.
Yeah, basically just being a bit of a dodgy bloke. But yeah, Joe Exotic remains banged up in some prison.
Decent. That's pretty good. That is quite surprising, and it's also pretty funny.
Thank you, mate.
So
what have you
my
got
last one, So we're back to Germany actually, and
Germans are having an absolute flyer this week.
Yeah, they've had a big week at the office. It's in between Berlin and Hamburg. There's a zoo called Perleberg Zoo.
Perleberg Zoo
in northern Germany, and basically there's no one there, obviously, because of COVID.
Right. Yeah.
But the zookeepers obviously go in and make sure the animals haven't died and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
Give them their dinner and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this bloke's gone to feed a camel.
A camel, right?
Yeah, yeah. And as he's gone to feed it, the camel has bitten his face.
Right.
And it's half his face has fallen off.
So it's ripped his face off, basically.
He's in hospital.
Right.
In not a good way, serious condition, by all accounts.
Do you have is there a photo that we can pop on to show the damage received, or?
No, that hasn't been disclosed as of yet.
Okay.
And also, I don't think the viewers would probably want to see that.
No,
there is a picture of said camel.
Yeah, we'll pop a picture of the camel on the screen.
He's just gone for him, and he's in serious condition in hospital after being bitten by a camel. And I think that's quite surprising, to be fair.
That's not what you expect to see
from all accounts, because A, it's a surprising story for us to read and hear. B, probably the zookeeper was fairly surprised.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
And it's quite a surprising act from the camel.
It's not every day you have your face bitten by a camel,
no.
Is it?
I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes camels do have the ump and they do get a bit grumpy.
Very good. Very good.
Thanks. So, but usually I've never seen anything like that before from a camel.
No. Have you much experience with camels, Callum?
Much experience with camels, no. Watched Idiot Abroad. Cole Pilkington had some troubles with a camel.
I would class that as being resident expert on camels.
That's pretty extensive research. But other than that, in terms of camels, not much experience or research. But this is the first time I've heard of them up to any shenanigans.
Is there any indication as to whether this is like a life-threatening injury, or is it just a case of he'll need a new face?
It's too early to say. Early to say.
The
German press has just released it. Well, I googled these. I don't know how well prepared you were for this, but I did this an hour ago. Research. So this is hot off the press.
Hot off the press.
Time will tell.
Imagine that, like having to tell your mates, like assuming he makes a recovery, which of course we hope he does.
Of course, yeah.
Just comes out of hospital and he's just got half a face. And there's
I was thinking, what if he had passed away from this, and then the police have to knock on his family's door?
Cause of death: maimed by a camel.
Heinkers is dead.
Do you think that, as in the case of Harambe, God rest his soul, that if this camel was found, or if the man did die, do you reckon the camel would suffer the same fate as Harambe?
I think if we were in America right now, this camel would be dead. But the Germans
are quite reasonable people.
Well, they've they seem to act more reasonably because the camel is still
breathing,
cameling about. So
to be honest, imagine though you're the next bloke who's got to go and feed that camel. You'd be absolutely shitting yourself.
You would be bricking yourself because
just seeing your mate get half his
face chopped off,
ripped off.
I don't even know what camels eat.
No, I just know they've got very long tongues.
Right. Brilliant.
My extensive knowledge, that's as far as it goes.
I just presume they eat like sand and stuff.
An animal would not eat sand. I imagine they're herbivores. Probably don't eat meat.
Well, they just eat herbs.
No plants, mate. Like you're a herbivore.
Yeah, through and through.
So basically, this bloke has had his face maimed.
What, Linda McCartney sausages and stuff like that.
I imagine the camel probably wouldn't eat those, but yeah, plants.
Yeah, that's my surprising story. A man has been absolutely done in by a camel, and we wish him the quickest recoveries.
We do wish him the quickest.
I don't know if he got his name actually. No, he's a 54-year-old man. So.
Fucking hell! He's not. He's past his prime.
He's been in with camels a long time, I imagine. So best of luck to him, and I hope he gets back to feeding camels in the near future.
We wish him all the best. Well, mate, I reckon that's pretty much all we've got this week.
Yeah, God knows how long that's been.
No.
We'll never know.
Sometime. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, do make sure to follow us on our social media platforms. Recently created at Hocus Pocus Podcast.
Or some variation of that.
Some variation. So, try a one on the end, or Hocus Pocus Pod or something like that.
Oh, yeah. It will be following them. So most people who watch this will know us, probably, I assume. So.
Yeah, we're so that's all good social media platforms.
And the bad ones.
And the bad ones as well. And go on, you see it out. You're the media man. If you like the episode, give us some feedback. Drop us a message.
And a thumbs up.
And a thumbs up. And
depending on what you're watching this on.
And we'll catch you next week with another episode of the Hocus Pocus podcast.
Cheers. Guys.